So I was just over with my parents, and my mom had a stroke several years ago now, I think in 2020, and was having memory problems before that. So circulatory disorders with metabolic syndrome type stuff. Anyway, so she's had cognitive decline, memory problems, kind of like a dementia, Alzheimer's pattern. And anyway, my grandmother had the same kind of pattern on my paternal side. Long story short, I've had some experience in living with individuals with these patterns and talking with them. And because of my training in the Eastern philosophies, I have a very holistic approach to looking at the mind. And what I want to share is that I was explaining to my father that my mother's experience is just as real as our experience here. Whoever out there can see a table as a table and a floor as a floor and a wall as a wall, and sees the solid physical state of this reality. My mother functionally lives in a quantum state of awareness, as I can best explain it. And what I was explaining to him, and she verified because she felt understood, because she's always saying, "You don't get it. No, you don't know," because I'll tell her I know. And she verified she understood my explanation, which is that her senses are functionally out of focus. And since most of what you see out here and experience and make contact with in the world is made up by impulses, waveforms generated by mind perception, your senses are the gateways to creating that formed physical reality we make contact with in these 3D bodies. And her senses are broken because she has gut brain problems, circulatory disorders, arthritic patterns, and type 2 diabetes, metabolic issues, hormonal depletion, all this stuff. So the gut brain axis is broken, and thus the sensory field and neurological damage is off, right? Or it has caused this multiple complication. And so, just like you see floaters when your vision's off, they're made up by data in the back of your eye, right? It's objects in the back of your eye, but they're not in that field out in front of you. When your sensory vision is off, when your hearing is off, your senses are out of focus, your touch, your taste, your smell, everything becomes more like a psychedelic trip, and you live in the quantum universe where you see everything interconnected and weaving differently. And so, if everyone around you doesn't allow you to have your journey as it is, that reality, and deny you that reality, it functionally puts you in hell because they'll always tell you to be redirected another way. And so I was talking with her and him through that and explaining on behalf of her to my dad this quantum nature of her existence, this constant trip she's in. And she was like, yes, you know. Um, but she asked me, am I ever going to get out? Right? And I was like, no, I don't think so. Because her senses are broken, physically broken now. And so she's like, well, what do I do? And I was like, well, you have to use memory. You can only use memory. You can't use what's here because your sensories, your input data field is off. So you have to use your memory. So you have to use good memories, or you can use things that you put into memory very firmly that focus you at your heart, like a prayer. So she said the rosary a lot in her life. And so I was like, it helps if you put your hands together somehow, and especially if you put them over your heart, either way, and just say a prayer when you get scared or worried or overwhelmed and you're seeing and feeling too much that doesn't make sense. And don't worry about what's here. Just use your memory and say your prayers and let it be. And she did that. And it calmed her down right away, of course, because it's rational. It's a way to anchor the mind into the one space in the body that is always identified as the seat of the spirit of pure awareness, which is the heart. And when the gut's not working, when the mind's not working, you can tune in to a layer of original nature at the heart level. And it's not just philosophical, it's anatomical. As above, so below. They're equal in respect there. And in the space of overcoming and becoming a sensory master, becoming a character who is above the senses in a state of supra-sensory experience, that's the goal of awakening. That's the goal of awareness, of becoming the Buddha or the Christ, whatever it is you want, or an immortal, whatever word you want to use to talk about knowing yourself and rising above the sensory space. You want to cultivate that as another level of functionally biohacking. It's another level of biohacking, and it doesn't have to be mysterious. Anyway, I thought I'd share it. Thanks for listening to my long story. May it benefit you.